The New York Attorney General said multiple times today that she believes you and the other women mentioned in this report. What does that mean to you?
Today was so validating and really emotional, and I feel vindicated. It's been a long day, but I'm proud to be a New Yorker right now.
Charlotte, the governor said today that he never touched anyone inappropriately and never made sexual advances. What do you make of the governor's denial?
The governor's denial is actually irrelevant. We have a report, a set of facts, and we have New Yorkers who know we need to do something about it. If the governor is not willing to hold himself accountable to the facts, then we have a responsibility to call on Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie to start impeachment.
He said today that it was your complaint that bothered him the most. He mentioned you by name. Did you listen to him today?
I did listen to him.
And what did you think?
I think he still thinks that victim blaming is an effective means to negate the facts, but I think it's just more embarrassing for him than it is actually effective.
The governor admitted that he asked you questions that he doesn't normally ask people because you told him you're a survivor of sexual assault. Do you think he's gaslighting you?
Absolutely. He's trying to justify himself by making me out to be someone who can't tell the difference between sexual harassment and mentorship. We have a report, we have the facts. The governor broke federal and state law when he sexually harassed me and current and former staffers, and if he's not willing to step down, then we have a responsibility to act and impeach him. He sexually harassed me. I am not confused. It is not confusing. I am living in reality, and it's sad to see that he's not.
He said that he was trying to help you work through a difficult time. At any point, did that seem like that was his intention?
No. His intention was trying to sleep with me. He was trying to sleep with me, and that was actually pretty clear from the report today that he was sexually harassing me. He was not acting as a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Governor Cuomo did at one point say he was wrong in what he did, but then he said that you and your lawyer have ascribed motives that he never had and that you heard things that he just didn't say. Did you misinterpret the governor?
I didn't, and it's actually interesting because his own senior aides took notes, contemporaneous notes, that actually backed up my allegations.
The report detailed your meticulous note-taking and corroborating at the time when Governor Cuomo did some of these things to you.
Yeah, I consider myself really lucky to be surrounded by friends and family that saw me through that whole period of time from the moment I stepped into that office to start my first day of work up until today. This was not happening in a nutshell. This is not he said, she said. This is, I was taking contemporaneous notes. I was sharing all of these events with my friends and family, and that's why these are facts. And, you know, his statement today was just, first of all, propaganda, and it's irrelevant.
Today, we did hear the governor address you directly and said he's truly and deeply sorry. Do you accept his apology?
I don't. I actually don't want it or need it, and it's irrelevant. His propaganda is simply that.
The governor today blamed generational or cultural perspectives for the way he made jokes and the comments that he makes. Was what the governor did a generational misunderstanding?
Publicly, he would rather play dumb. Privately, he knows that he sexually harassed staffers, and I think it's easier to explain his behavior publicly by saying there was some misunderstanding, and then also using my background as a survivor of sexual violence to say that, you know, you clearly misinterpreted. In fact, that's not the case.
And what did you make of the report finding the lack of reporting allegations of harassment in a due manner?
It's not surprising because, you know, these are the people that were operating when I came forward, and nothing came of my report in the moment. So, you know, the findings themselves weren't necessarily surprising, but it's actually deeply devastating. And it sends a message to New Yorkers that there are some people who are simply above the law, and the governor is not above the law. Actually, he signed the law. And he should be held accountable for breaking it.
There's now a criminal investigation into another allegation that the governor reached under an aide's blouse in his home office. Are you personally aware of that incident?
I was not until the media reported it, but it's devastating. And these are women that I worked closely with when I was working in his office. And it just speaks to the failure to take seriously my allegations, because had someone followed this up with an investigation and had taken my report and done anything at all with it, as they were legally required to do, perhaps that incident wouldn't have happened at all. And that's the reason why the laws are the laws.
In addition to this investigation that found that the governor sexually harassed multiple women, they also found that that the governor and his aides created a toxic work environment that enabled sexual harassment. Is that consistent with what you experienced?
It's extremely consistent, and I think the environment of fear, the environment of humiliation, the idea that at any moment you feel like you could either lose your job or get screamed at, or, you know, it was traumatic on its own. So when the most powerful person in the office and also the most powerful person in the state acts inappropriately, you think, why would anyone take that seriously or think that I deserve any respect in this office?
The governor said today that he accepts responsibility and that he's making changes. Do you believe him?
Accepting responsibility means stepping down. And not only is he not stepping down, but he's outright denying the things that he did. So I don't believe him, and I don't want an apology. It's not necessary. It's fake. And his propaganda video was not only uncomfortable and inappropriate, but downright weird and unnecessary, because we don't need to know from him his thoughts on this. We have the facts. We have the facts, and we can, you know, we can wait for him to resign, and he's not going to do it, or we can call Carl Heastie, the Speaker of the Assembly, and just say, let's do the obvious thing and impeach him. Let's impeach the governor.
Why do you call it a propaganda video?
Because it's not about anything other than protecting him and his office. It is not protecting New York. He is not speaking for New Yorkers. He is not trying to do anything other than maintain the power that he has currently. If he cared about New York State, he would step down, because at this point, it's an embarrassment to all of us. He's embarrassing.
And then finally, what do you think is the effect of the governor's behavior, both in the past and then by the comments that he made today?
He is normalizing not only victim blaming, but sexual harassment. He is saying that women come forward with their stories and we don't need to take it seriously.
You actually think his comments are dangerous?
I think his comments are dangerous. I think it sends a message to New Yorkers that sexual harassment is not important, that it is not dangerous. It is. It is important, and it's also just plain illegal.
Mm-hmm.